Fellas, listen up. I know you're hurting. I know you're searching for answers, trying to figure out how to navigate this storm. You've been told, go no contact, disappear, she'll come back. And while that's a start, it's not enough. Because let me tell you something. Just vanishing into thin air won't make her feel anything if you're not becoming someone worth feeling something for. No contact is often misunderstood. People think it's just about cutting off communication and waiting for the other person to come running back. They assume that if they stay silent long enough, she'll suddenly realize what she lost and start chasing them. But that's not how it works. No contact alone won't make a difference if you're the same person she left. If you don't change, if you don't grow, then all you're doing is giving her time to move on while you stay stuck in the same place. The truth is, no contact should not be about making her miss you. It should be about making yourself unrecognizable to the version of you that she left behind. If she walked away, it means something wasn't working. Maybe you lost your edge. Maybe you stopped being the man who excited her, challenged her, or inspired her. Maybe you got too comfortable, too predictable, or too needy. Whatever the reason, the past version of you was not enough to keep her. And if you go no contact but remain that same person, she's not going to feel a sense of loss. She's going to feel confirmation that leaving was the right choice. The key is transformation, not just surface level changes, but deep internal shifts that make you stronger, sharper, and more in control of your life. It starts with understanding that no contact is not a waiting game. It's a time for self-reinvention. Instead of wasting your days wondering if she's thinking about you, use that time to become the kind of man who doesn't have to wonder. A man who is too focused on his goals, too busy building his empire, too committed to his growth to sit around hoping for a text. Physical transformation is the easiest place to start. It's something you can control immediately, and it has a direct impact on how you feel about yourself. Hit the gym, start training, and push yourself past your limits. Not because you want her to see your new body, but because discipline breeds confidence. When you wake up early, push through the pain, and see results, you develop a different kind of energy. You walk differently, you carry yourself with more purpose, and that shift in energy is something that people notice whether you realize it or not. But transformation goes deeper than just how you look. Your mindset has to change. The version of you that got left behind was operating from a place of weakness. Maybe you were too emotional, too reactive, or too dependent on her for happiness. Now's the time to take back control. Read, learn, and expand your mind. Start consuming books, podcasts, and content that elevate your thinking. Surround yourself with people who challenge you and push you forward. Work on your emotional intelligence so that the next time you're in a relationship, you lead with strength instead of insecurity. And perhaps the most powerful transformation of all is in your purpose. A man without direction is a man who is easy to walk away from. If your life revolved around her, she became your mission instead of being a part of it. That has to change. You need to find something bigger than her, bigger than any relationship, something that drives you every single day. When a man is fully locked in on his purpose, he becomes magnetic. He doesn't have to chase. People naturally gravitate toward him. No contact is not about silence. It's about evolution. It's about becoming so undeniably great that she doesn't just miss you, she regrets losing you. And by the time she realizes it, you're no longer the same person she left. You're someone entirely different, someone stronger, someone better. Most men go no contact out of desperation. They think that if they suddenly disappear, she'll panic, miss them, and come running back. But that's not how this works. Disappearing just to trigger a reaction is weak. It's passive. It puts your entire sense of self-worth in her hands. And when you do something out of desperation, people can feel it. She can feel it. If your absence is rooted in a need for validation, you've already lost. No contact is not about making her miss you. It's not about proving a point. It's not a mind game where you wait to see if she breaks first. Disappearing only works if you do it with purpose. It's about stepping back, not to make her chase, but to make yourself better. It's about using silence as a tool, not a trap. When you disappear with purpose, you aren't just avoiding her. You're immersing yourself in self-improvement. You're stepping away from everything that drains you, whether that was a toxic relationship, bad habits, or a version of yourself that wasn't serving you. This isn't about punishing her. It's about prioritizing you. Because the truth is, if you don't take this time to evolve, you're just a man waiting, hoping, wasting time. And a man who waits is a man who loses. The difference between disappearing with purpose and disappearing out of desperation is what you do at that time. The desperate man stops communicating but does nothing to change. He spends his days scrolling through her social media, hoping for a sign that she misses him. He replays old conversations, wondering where he went wrong. He isolates himself, drowning in self-pity, letting the pain consume him. And then when he finally reaches out because he will, he's the exact same man she left. The same insecurities, the same lack of direction, the same emotional weight. And she feels it instantly. That's why it doesn't work. But the man who disappears with purpose is different. He takes that silence and turns it into strength. He cuts off communication, not because he's waiting, but because he's working. He pours himself into his goals. He builds his body, sharpens his mind, and deepens his purpose. He creates a life that is so full, so rich, so driven, that when she finally does see him again, whether in person, online, or through mutual friends, she doesn't just see a man she used to know. She sees a man she no longer recognizes. That's the key. You don't just disappear. You reappear as someone new, someone who isn't stuck in the past, someone who isn't looking back, someone who is too focused on his mission to even consider whether she's thinking about him. And that is what makes her feel it. Not the silence itself, but the transformation behind it. Because here's the truth, people don't miss what stays the same, they miss what changes. They feel the weight of absence when they realize that in their time apart, you didn't just wait, you grew. You became something greater, and now the man they left behind no longer exists. So don't disappear hoping she notices. Disappear so that when she does, it's too late. When a relationship ends, most men focus on what they lost instead of what they can gain. They obsess over the past, replay conversations, and wonder if there's a way to fix things. But the truth is, no amount of overthinking or regret will change what happened. The only way to move forward, the only way to truly make an impact, is to level up in every single area of your life. Because the version of you that she walked away from was not enough to make her stay. And if you remain the same, nothing changes. This is where most men get stuck. They think that simply waiting, giving her space, or ignoring her will make her realize what she lost. But women don't miss men who stay the same. They miss the ones who evolve. They feel the absence of men who use their pain as fuel, who take heartbreak and turn it into transformation. That's how you make her feel it. Not through words, not through text, but through undeniable growth. It starts with your body, because the way you carry yourself changes the way you feel. Hit the gym with a purpose. Train harder than ever before. Push your limits. Build strength and develop the kind of physique that commands attention. This isn't about vanity, it's about discipline. When you commit to your fitness, you build confidence. You move differently. You radiate a different kind of energy. And trust me, people notice that. She will notice that. But physical transformation is just one piece of the puzzle. You must also level up your mind. Read books, listen to powerful speakers, study the greats. Challenge yourself to think bigger, to see the world differently. If you were emotionally reactive before, learn to control your emotions. If you were insecure, work on your self-worth. Become a man who leads with intelligence and strength, not neediness or fear. A sharp mind is just as attractive as a strong body. And when you combine the two, you become unstoppable. Then there's your purpose. A man without purpose is a man who is easy to leave. Because when your world revolves around her, she becomes your mission. And the second she senses that, the attraction fades. Women don't want to be the center of a man's life. They want to be a part of a life that is already powerful. This is your time to find your mission. Whether it's your career, your passion, or a personal goal that drives you. When you wake up every morning with something bigger than yourself to chase, you don't have time to dwell on the past. And that kind of focus is magnetic. Your style, your presence, your social circle, everything needs to elevate. Dress like a man who takes himself seriously. Walk into every room with confidence. Surround yourself with winners, with people who push you forward instead of holding you back. If you've been hanging around the same old crowd, stuck in the same old habits, it's time to break free. Growth isn't just about what you do, it's about who you do it with. This is how you level up, not just in one area, but in every aspect of your life. Because when she sees you again, whether in person, online, or through mutual friends, she won't just see a man she used to know. She'll see a man she never thought you could become. And that realization, that's what makes her feel it. Not regret, not just nostalgia, but the gut-wrenching feeling of knowing she let go of something extraordinary. But here's the thing. By the time she realizes it, you'll be too far ahead to care. Most men make the mistake of thinking they need to explain their growth. They want to prove a point, show their ex what she's missing, and make sure she knows they're doing better. So they post forced selfies, drop cryptic quotes, and try too hard to make it seem like they've moved on. But that's not power, that's insecurity disguised as confidence. Real power isn't in what you say, it's in what you become. If you truly level up, you don't have to announce it. The world will do that for you. When you focus on self-improvement instead of revenge, your growth becomes undeniable. You don't need to text or call her or try to prove anything. Your transformation will be seen, felt, and talked about naturally. Mutual friends will mention it. Your energy will be different when people meet you. And if she happens to check in, whether through social media or word of mouth, she won't see a man who's bitter, angry, or desperate. She'll see a man who is thriving, who has moved forward with strength and purpose. And that's what makes her feel it. Your social media should be a reflection of this growth, not a tool for attention. You don't post for her, you post because you're proud of the life you're building. Subtle, authentic glimpses of your journey. No over-the-top flexing, no emotional captions, just a man living his life at a higher level. A photo of you traveling, a video of you working out, an achievement in your business. Things that show progress without words. When you do this right, she won't see a man trying to prove something. She'll see a man who doesn't need her validation. And that's what stings the most. Your social circle also plays a huge role. If you were stuck in the same routine, hanging around the same people who brought no value to your life, it's time to change that. Start surrounding yourself with winners. People who push you to be better. When you do this, conversations about you will naturally shift. Instead of hearing that you're still the same guy, she'll hear that you're excelling, that you're focused, that you've stepped into a new version of yourself. And when mutual friends start saying things like, man, he's really killing it lately, that's when curiosity sets in. You have to let success be your response. You don't reach out. You don't try to make her jealous. You don't play games. You become so focused on building your future that her absence no longer affects you. And when she finally does notice, when she realizes you become a man she no longer has access to, that's when she truly feels it. Because now she's not just missing you, she's missing out on the man you've become. And here's the best part, by the time she realizes it, you won't need her to. Confidence isn't something you say, it's something you show. It's in your posture, your presence, your energy. When a man is truly confident, he doesn't need to prove anything. He doesn't need to tell people he's changed. He doesn't need to act tough or put on a performance. His growth speaks for itself. And when it comes to dealing with an ex, confidence is what makes her feel your absence more than anything else. Most men make the mistake of either overcompensating or shrinking in fear. They either act too arrogant, trying to show off and make her jealous, or they avoid her altogether because they're still hurt. Both approaches come from insecurity. Real confidence is different. It's calm, controlled, and unshaken. It's walking into a room and owning the space without trying too hard. It's making eye contact without hesitation. It's speaking less, but saying more with your actions. When you see her again, whether by chance or on purpose, how you handle yourself matters more than anything you could say. If you fumble, act nervous, or try too hard to impress her, she'll feel that energy immediately. But if you remain composed, unbothered, and effortlessly confident, she'll notice. She'll sense the shift, and that's what gets under her skin. Not words, not forced indifference, but the undeniable truth that you've grown beyond who you were when she left. Confidence is built in silence. It's the work you do when no one is watching. It's in the discipline you develop in the gym, the mindset you strengthen through challenges, and the purpose you find in your daily grind. When you build yourself from the inside out, you don't have to fake anything. You naturally carry yourself with more power. You walk taller, your voice is steadier, and your presence commands respect. Women are highly attuned to energy. They can tell when a man is still emotionally caught up in them. They can feel when he's secretly hoping for another chance. But they can also feel when a man is truly past it. When he's focused, when he's thriving, when he's no longer seeking validation from them. And that's what makes them rethink everything. That's when the regret sets in. Because now she's not just seeing the old you, she's seeing the upgraded version. The man who no longer chases, no longer needs her approval, no longer waits for her to notice. So when you cross paths again, you don't need to say much. You don't need to play games. Just be the man who has grown so much that her presence doesn't shake you. Smile, nod, keep it moving. Speak with purpose, not desperation. Let your confidence be the loudest thing in the room. Because when she sees you unbothered, stronger, and more self-assured than ever, that's when she truly feels it. And by then, you won't even be looking for her reaction. Most men want their ex to regret leaving, but they go about it the wrong way. They beg, they chase, they try to prove their worth, but regret doesn't come from words. It comes from realization. And the only way she'll ever feel that kind of regret is if you become the one who got away. You see, women don't regret losing the same man they walked away from. They regret losing the man who evolved beyond what they ever imagined. The man who became so disciplined, so focused, so powerful that looking back at him feels like looking at a different person. That's when it hits them. That's when they start to wonder, did I make a mistake? But you don't get there by waiting for her. You don't get there by staying the same. You get there by making yourself so valuable that she realizes she had something rare and she let it go. Most men fade into the background after a breakup. They spiral into self-doubt, make desperate moves, or worse, stay the same, hoping she'll come back. But the ones who truly leave an impact are the ones who transform. They use the pain as fuel. They level up so intensely that the past version of themselves becomes unrecognizable. This isn't about revenge. It's not about proving a point. It's about evolving to the point where you don't even need validation from her or anyone else. You build yourself mentally, physically, financially, emotionally. You become the kind of man who turns heads when he walks into a room, not because he's trying to be noticed, but because he carries himself differently now. He's sharper, more refined, more in control of his destiny. And here's the thing, word travels, people talk. She might not see you every day, but she'll hear about you. Maybe through mutual friends, maybe through social media, maybe through life itself. And when she does, She won't see a man who's stuck in the past. She'll see a man who's thriving, who's moved forward with such strength that she starts questioning her own choices. That's when she realizes that she didn't just lose a boyfriend, she lost the best version of you, the one you became after she left. That's what it means to be the one who got away. It's not about making her miss you. It's about making her realize she'll never find another you. It's about becoming such a high-value man that she understands too late that she let go of something priceless. But by the time she figures that out, you're too busy living your best life to even care. Most men get it backwards. They think she's the prize. They believe that if they can just prove their worth by chasing, by begging, by waiting, she'll finally see their value. But that's the very mindset that makes her lose attraction in the first place. The second you put her on the pedestal, you place yourself beneath her. And no woman wants a man who doesn't see his own worth. You have to shift your mindset. You are the prize. Not because of arrogance, not because of ego, but because of truth. A man who knows his value doesn't chase, he attracts. He doesn't beg, he walks away. He doesn't wait, he builds. And that shift in energy changes everything. Think about it. Why do women chase some men and ignore others? It's not about looks or money alone. It's about the way a man carries himself. When a man believes he's the prize, he moves differently. He doesn't seek validation because he knows he already brings value to the table. He focuses on his mission, his purpose, his growth. And because of that, people naturally gravitate toward him. But when a man sees a woman as the ultimate prize, he loses himself. He starts compromising, overextending, and sacrificing his self-respect just to keep her. And in doing so, he becomes less attractive. Because confidence is what women truly desire. And a man who places his entire sense of worth on whether she stays or leaves has already lost it. This isn't about disrespecting women. It's about valuing yourself just as much, if not more. The moment you shift your mindset, you reclaim your power. You stop waiting for her texts. You stop worrying about whether she misses you. You stop letting her decisions control your emotions. Instead, you become the kind of man who naturally draws respect and admiration, not just from her, but from everyone around you. And here's the real test. When she sees that shift, she will feel it. She will notice that the man who once prioritized her above himself is now focused on something bigger. She will realize that she is no longer the center of your world. And that realization is powerful, because when a woman senses that she has lost control over a man's emotions, that's when she starts questioning everything. But by then, you won't be waiting for her reaction. Because when you truly become the prize, you no longer need her to see it. You already know it yourself. Heartbreak can destroy you, or it can build you into something unshakable. Most men let it break them. They drown in self-pity, waste time overthinking, and let the pain consume them. But the real ones, the ones who rise, take that pain and turn it into fuel. They don't just survive heartbreak, they use it as a weapon to create a version of themselves so powerful that looking back is no longer an option. Pain is energy. It can weaken you or it can sharpen you. It can make you spiral or it can make you focus. The choice is yours. Every great man in history has faced loss, rejection, or failure. But what separates them from the rest is how they responded. They didn't let emotions keep them stagnant. They took the fire inside them and redirected it towards something greater. If you've been left, doubted, or underestimated, good. Let that fuel you. Let it drive you to wake up earlier, train harder, study more, work smarter. Let every emotion push you towards success. Instead of wasting time scrolling through her social media, use that time to build your business, your body, your mind. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Start asking, how can I use this to become unstoppable? Because here's the truth, success is the best revenge, but not because it proves a point to her. It's the best revenge because it transforms you. When you take heartbreak and turn it into power, you reach a level where nothing can shake you anymore. You stop being controlled by emotions, by circumstances, by the past. You become the kind of man who cannot be ignored, not just by her, but by the world. And when she sees it, when she hears about the man you've become, the things you've accomplished, the life you're now living, she will feel it. Not because you wanted her to, but because your success makes it impossible for her not to notice. But by then it won't even matter, because the man who has truly turned heartbreak into a weapon is no longer looking back. He's already too far ahead. Most men get stuck in the past. They replay memories, analyze what went wrong, and secretly hope for a second chance. But a man who truly understands his worth doesn't live in the past. He moves forward with so much power, so much focus, that looking back isn't even an option. He doesn't chase closure. He doesn't wait for a sign. He creates a future so great that his past becomes irrelevant. The truth is, when you're constantly looking back, you're not moving forward. You can't build momentum while holding on to something that's already gone. And if she's in your rearview mirror, it's for a reason. Your job isn't to question it. It's to level up so intensely that by the time she realizes what she lost, you're too far ahead to care. This isn't about bitterness. It's not about pretending you don't feel anything. It's about shifting your focus so completely that your energy is no longer tied to her. Every minute spent dwelling on the past is a minute stolen from your future. And the men who win in life are the ones who refuse to waste time on what's already done. So you put your head down and you work. You build your body until you're stronger than ever. You sharpen your mind until you think bigger than you ever have before. You chase your goals so relentlessly that every single day becomes a step towards something greater. You surround yourself with people who elevate you, who challenge you, who push you to be better. And then one day, something shifts. You wake up and realize you're no longer haunted by the past. You're too busy building, too focused on your future, too driven to even consider going back. And that's when it happens. When she hears about you, when she sees what you've become, when she finally understands that the man she left behind doesn't even exist anymore. But by then it won't matter. Because when you move forward so powerfully, the past isn't just behind you, it becomes irrelevant. And that's real freedom. That's when you win. Gentlemen, let me tell you something. Heartbreak is a fire. And you have two choices. You can let it burn you down, or you can let it forge you into steel. No contact is just the beginning. The real power is in what you do with that time. You don't just disappear, you evolve. You don't just wait, you work. You don't just hope she feels it. You become a man so undeniable that she has no choice but to feel it. Because by the time she realizes what she lost, you'll be too far ahead to look back. And that, my brothers, is how you win.
If you're not following us, you will probably never hear my voice again. But if you are, congratulations. Drop 100 if you read this far. This shows that you are the part of 0.01% who actually finished what they started. If you are serious about changing life, then make sure to join our movements by living as a follow.